actually in the screen?
Yep, the red nipples line middle. And it's recording. Don't worry.
Come on.
But you're not smiling.
Oh, I'm not ready to shoot yet. So everyone, it is Saturday morning out here, mid-September in Maryland, and the temperature's not too bad. It's I guess low 80s, but the Maryland humidity is still famous and still hasn't gone away. So this is more of a maintenance project than anything else, and I don't know if any of you are familiar with this. A few of you probably already done this repair, and a few of you sometime in the future are probably going to get stuck with it. So I'm going to show you what's going on here. So this is the end at the firewall on the passenger side that goes to the heater core. This goes behind the engine, and this comes around near the cylinder head on the driver's side. So let me show you a piece of it. The old one's still in place, and I'm working on it. And you see that? Okay, so there are two 10mm nuts in there. Now this one here, you're looking at it, you're going, wow, that's a cakewalk, because it doesn't look bad. And no, it's true. That one actually was pretty easy. Let me show you, hopefully, if I can get a view here. Down underneath, it comes down here to the engine. Yeah, okay, there's the other end, which is this guy right over here. But now on the other side, I'm not even sure I can get a video of it. There's another nut on the other side behind the engine, and it is absolutely horrible. And here, let me give you a little piece of advice. If you decide to preemptively remove these, which is what I'm doing, and I'm really hoping that I'm not going to regret this decision later. This is my ratchet, and here is what I had to do to get in there. So this is a 10mm stub, a full universal, a straight, and this one here is a wobble. And since these don't fit really tightly together, I stuck them together with a wrap of electrical tape so they could still bounce around a little bit but not pop apart, because if you drop that, you're probably never going to find it again. And since I'm running full armor, it would go underneath the truck, and it would be, yeah, I would be ending up having to lift the truck, taking half the plates off probably to recover my tools. Not where I want to be. So that's what's going on right now. And like I said, I hope I don't regret this decision. So let me see if I can get a little bit of a view back in here. There you go. Actually, the camera's picking it up a lot better than it is in reality. It's really dark back there, and I'm going to try to figure out how to get some light back there, because it's not going to be fun. But you can see that T-junction there is this. See, this is metal. This is made by Dorman, and I got this from King Jeffrey of Amazon fame. And I'll post the link for that part, and you can see this original one here is plastic, and my understanding is that when they get old from heat cycling over and over and over again, you know what plastic does, it crumbles. It turns into complete junk. So you can see where that other hose clamp is. That's the one that goes to the heater core, and you can see how much fun that's going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get those out, and like I said, I really hope I don't regret this decision. Starting this on a Saturday morning, we will see how long it takes. So back at you in a few minutes. Alright, hey there everybody. Okay, here's the new part installed. This is number 1 and 2, and if I sound like I'm a little tired and a little wore out, yes, I am. Good hour, a little more wrestling match, getting both of these extracted. I ended up using out of the kit that I had purchased, again from King Jeffrey there. This is a clamp removal kit, different kinds of pliers. I ended up using 2 of those, a vice grips, and a water pump pliers in various combinations. Sometimes it would move a little bit, and then I would get a grip on it, and I'd have to switch tools and get over and move another. So it's finally in there. I took off the original clamp, which is looking like this, and this is basically just a pull ring. You're supposed to install this and just yank this off of here, and that sets the tension, but a couple people had said that they had leakage problems, and that's really not the place that you want to be to find out that your pipe clamp is leaking. So I'm not sure about this guy here, what I'm going to do. I may just have to assemble this the way it is. I'm not sure that I can see any way to get in there to actually tighten an aircraft clamp, because this one's closer to the engine, and it's just a royal pain in the neck. This one here, I think I'll probably be able to put some kind of a clamp on. This guy here, I don't know. It's going to be a crapshoot. We're going to find out. So I will catch up to you in a little while. It'll only probably be a matter of seconds your time, but maybe another 20 or 30 minutes my time. I have no idea. The next thing I have to do now is I have to try to thread this thing behind the engine, and that's quite a treat in itself. I ended up taking off this rubber piece off the old one just to get it out of the engine bay, so I really didn't care. I was throwing it away anyway, but to try to thread this new one in is going to be quite a challenge. It's pretty tight back there, so I may end up starting from the other side and trying to feed it through this tunnel. This is the back of the engine right here, and hopefully it will actually feed. I have no idea. I'm going to find out in a minute, so back at you soon. Alright, hi everyone. We are back. Like I said, it's a couple of seconds your time, but it's several hours have passed here. I did go ahead and button everything back up. Refilled the coolant, took the truck out for a little drive. So let me just quickly note a few things here if you decide to try this project as well. So like I had said, this bolt back here is a real pain in the pick a body part. And moving on over to here, I'll show you where all the clamps ended up. And I hope you can, yeah, okay, there we go. You can see that pretty good. Alright, so the clamp that's closest to the firewall on the right hand side is the one that goes into that crazy big T-shaped thing. That had a clamp supplied on the end of it by Dorman, and on that clamp, if you go back and look at the video earlier where I showed you the whole piece, they had installed like a little plastic clip that was supposed to keep that clamp from popping open to make it easier to install. Yeah, well, it didn't make it easier at all. It was in the way. That air conditioning line directly above it was conflicting, so I actually had to pop that clip off and take one of those specialty clamping pliers, I guess you'd call them, and go ahead and snap that on there so that I could get it onto there and get under the AC line and get the fitting all the way up tight against the firewall, and then snap the clamp. I really wanted to put an aircraft clamp in there, but I can't figure out how in the world I'd be able to get to it to actually tighten it up. So I'm just fingers crossed and prayers here that it doesn't do anything weird. So far it seems to be holding okay. I didn't have any leaks. Refilled everything, took it out for a run. That looked good, so that's what's going on there. So let me zoom back, and another thing to be very mindful. These caps, oh yeah, there's some spilled coolant here too where I was refilling. These caps are very specific. One of them goes to the radiator, and the other one goes over here in the overflow tank. Do not get them confused. If you do that, you will have chronic overheating problems. One of them has a bypass spring, one of them does not. The one on the radiator does not. This one over here does. The overflow tank, not like vehicles way back in the past, back in the day, the overflow tank was at atmospheric pressure and really didn't do a whole lot except collect whatever came, as an overflow. So hence the name, right? Well, now everything is all tied together. So this is pressurized too, and you see the warning. Well, it's upside down, but you see the warning here that says basically don't open this while hot. And unless you really want to get sprayed and scalded, you'll definitely heed that warning, because this is all part of the pressurized loop now, all the way back through here, and all the piping in between all comes back over to here. So when you're refilling your system and you go to, I guess you could say, burp it, you need to refill this completely. Fill it all the way to the top, and if you can, park on a hill with the nose up. That will force the air out. A perennial problem that a lot of these had when the truck was first delivered from the factory is that it had air pockets, and people would say that they heard like a waterfall kind of noise behind the dash, and that was air moving around inside the heater core. And so burping these can be a little bit of a challenge. Kind of like dealing with a baby, right? They don't always want to expel all the air. So like I said, you're going to have to work on that. You might have to actually fill it several times. Some people have had to do it 2 to 3 times before they were sure that they had all the air removed, and that everything was running correctly and cooling properly. So those are some things to note, like I said, about the caps. Don't get them confused, and make sure you burp everything. And as far as the clamps back here, as I'd mentioned before, yeah, they're a real treat. I was basically pretty much practically laying on top of the engine, trying to reassemble all this. It was pretty horrible. It was a good 2.5, probably close to 3 hours, trying to get them all off of there. And then reassembled. And as I'd mentioned earlier, I ended up using 5 different pliers in different combinations and configurations to be able to pull all this stuff apart. So definitely Nissan assembled this and put all this piping in place before the engine was lowered into the bay, because you can guarantee that the guys on the line didn't spend all that time fighting all these fittings. So it must have been nice and wide open when they got in here. And then all the wiring and everything, the harnesses dropped in, and the engine got installed later. So yeah, if you plan to tackle this project, it's a real treat. Let me tell you, plan for some busted knuckles and some scrapes on your arms and all sorts of neat things. And if you're an age like me, you'll probably be feeling it later and be probably hitting a couple aspirins. One of my next big projects is going to be spark plugs, and that seems to be a matter of conjecture, where some people say that they remove the intake manifold, some people say you can do it without removing it. With where my wiring box is, I don't think that's going to be possible, so I'm probably going to pull the manifold, do all the spark plugs, probably going to do either the iridiums or the rutheniums, which are supposed to be super long life. I'm going to replace the 3 coils on the passenger side because they're buried in there, and I'm going to get original equipment, either Hitachi, I think I was looking at Hitachi, Denso, and NGK. Those are all very good brands. I would not buy them from eBay or Amazon, because you do not know if they're reboxed, and they may not be genuine parts. I would buy them from a reputable, say like Rock Auto or somebody like that is who I'm looking at for a supplier, and that's going to be the next project, so stay tuned for that. Not really looking forward to that either. That's probably going to make this one look like a walk in the park, so we'll be tackling it. So until next time, it's still a big world, and if your truck's still clean, you need to get out there and get her muddy. Until next time, see ya.